Created by Chris Carter, The X-Files is one of those nostalgia-driven shows that still manage to and will hold the attention of viewers in the future. Since 1993, Agents Fox Mulder and Dana Scully have explored many amazing paranormal cases for the Federal Bureau of Investigation, a fantastic amalgamation of suspense, horror, and science fiction. The X-Files dealt with horrible monsters of the week while also exploring the complex relationship of Mulder and Scully. One of the most disgusting and creepiest monsters in the X-Files was the Fluke Man, a mutated creature that breeds through human hosts. Let's explore his anatomy today. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Radiation and mutation. On April 26, 1986, when the Soviet Union was still at large, a catastrophic disaster occurred in what is now Ukraine. The number 4 reactor of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant exploded thanks to a safety test gone wrong. Considered one of the worst nuclear disasters in history, the disaster immediately killed 31 people and around 5 million people of the ex-USSR suffered. Thanks to it, the accident has been named the costliest disaster in human history and a brutal reminder of the powers of nuclear energy. This is where the story of the Fluke Man begins. We don't know how, but he ended up in a decommissioned, old Russian freighter, which was previously used to dispose of stuff from the nuclear disaster at Chernobyl. In the primordial radioactive soup made from the waste of Chernobyl, the man's DNA mixed with the DNA of the Fluke worm, and he transformed into the Fluke Man. Did the Fluke Man have an original or natural form? Yes. The Fluke Man used to have an original or natural form as he started out as a human like the rest of us. His name was Grigory, and he was a Soviet national who used to work as a liquidator. One fateful day, Grigory got trapped in the septic tank, which was unfortunately infested with flatworms and was filled with the radioactive coolant water from the Chernobyl nuclear plant. You might have assumed that when the body was found, Grigory had turned into a half-human, half-fluke worm hybrid. But that wasn't the case. A crossbreed worm emerged from his body, and that worm regenerated to the grotesque Fluke Man we know. Biological classification. Where does the Fluke Man fit? Let's go through the biological classification stages together and try to figure out where the Fluke Man fits. The kingdom is obviously Animalia, as the creature is a multicellular and heterotrophic organism. Don't be worried if the word heterotrophic throws you off. It just means that the organism cannot produce food on its own and depends on other organisms. The phylum is where it gets tricky. Fluke worms belong to Platyhelminths, a phylum dedicated for flatworms, while humans belong to the Chordata phylum, as we all have spines. Since the Fluke Man seems to be able to stand vertically and have a spinal cord, we'll have to consider him to be Chordata. The class of fluke worms is Trematoda, which means that they have a mouth, no anus, and use suckers or hooks, with a dorso-ventrally flattened body, while humans belong to the Mammalia class, which means that we have mammary glands, diaphragm, hair or fur, and are warm-blooded. The Fluke Man does not belong to either of these classes, but has characteristics of both. Though he has mammary glands, they're not functional, and he also does not have any hair or fur, but he still has a diaphragm that separates his chest and abdomen, while helping him breathe above water. He also has hooks with which he hunts, though he does not have a flat body like a fluke worm. So let's make up a new class for him called Trematalia. The fluke worm belongs to the order Digyni. All members of the Digyni class go through a 2-host life cycle, which means that they need a mollusk host and a vertebrate host. This is not true for the Fluke Man, as he can reproduce with just one host. The Fluke Man fits more into the order humans belong to, primates, as he has forward-facing eyes. From here on out, the classification gets more and more convoluted, as there are many different families of fluke worms. But there are only 2 families that target human beings. They are the Opus torchiidae, which infect the liver, bile duct, or gallbladder of humans, and the Fasciolidae, which reproduces in sheep, goats, and cattle, and causes liver fluke disease in humans. Both families are capable of reproducing in humans. Fluke Man could be a combination of any of the 2 families with the human family, Hominidae, as he has well-developed forearms. The genus and species of any creature is known by its scientific name. Human beings are called Homo sapiens, which means that they belong to the genus Homo, which means man, and species of sapiens, which means wise or knowing. The fluke worms, meanwhile, are scientifically called Fasciola hepatica, where fasciola means flatworms, and hepatica means relating to the liver. So, the apt scientific name of the Fluke Man would be Homo fasciola, the flatworm man. Biological processes of the Fluke Man. a combination of abnormal cell fusion and psychological cross-breeding. The Fluke Man is not a naturally occurring creature, but one emerging due to the mistakes of human beings. We have referred to the Fluke Man as he throughout the video, as we know that he used to be a man before, but make no mistake, the Fluke Man has no gender, like all flatworms and fluke worms. He has no sex organs, and can spontaneously regenerate. The reproduction process of the Fluke Man is incredibly creepy and scary. He transmits his larvae through his bite, and hunts prey, not to eat, but to find hosts and reproduce. After a human being suffers the bite of the Fluke Man, he becomes infected, which slowly spreads and claims the life of the victim. The bite wound is circular with 4 deep wounds, with the teeth of the Fluke Man hooked onto the victim. There are some claims that the bite of the Fluke Man might give the survivor a really bad taste in the mouth that is hard to remove, and this distaste is not followed by any difficulty to swallow. But this statement is hard to prove, as the only victim whose experience was recorded has also swallowed a lot of sewage water. So we don't know whether the sewage was to be blamed, or it was some chemical reaction inside the victim's body causing the hard-to-remove bitter taste. The Fluke Man can survive well on land, but he prefers to live underwater. Swimming is definitely his strong suit, and he's much more powerful when he's in water, as he hauls his victims into the water with him. What does the Fluke Man look like? The genderless Fluke Man is covered from head to toe in pale, white-folded skin. The skin of the Fluke Man probably changed from whatever it was before to the ghostly paper white, because he lives underwater, where the sun barely reaches it. He has 4 limbs, just like a human, but only has 3 fingers on each of them. He has a spherical pinkish mouth with hook-like teeth on the lips to help him latch on to his victims. He has several other teeth inside his mouth. The Fluke Man does not appear to have any ears. The creation and inspiration behind the Fluke Man. We first see the host in the 2nd episode of the 2nd season of X-Files, titled The Host. It aired on September 23rd of 1994 and was written by Chris Carter, who asked Daniel Sackheim to direct it. Chris Carter had been going through a lot of stuff while writing this episode. His dog has been suffering from worms, so he decided to study them. He had also been reading about species going extinct and a story about the nuclear disaster in Chernobyl. Somehow, all these 3 came together in his mind and synthesized to create the Fluke Man. Tony Lindola, the makeup effects artist, whose prowess you might have seen in the 2016 movie Star Trek Beyond and the 2014 movie Godzilla, was tasked with creating the costume for the Fluke Man, and he set to work with a small group of makeup effects artists. The suit was to look baggy, and prosthetics were used to mold the distended lips of the creature. 2 different contact lenses were used, and they were layers one atop the other to give a milky look to the eyes of the Fluke Man, to imitate the milky white color of the skin. Lindola and urethane, and he mentioned taking inspiration from the underbelly of a fish. Darren Morgan, the writer, who decided to don the suit to become Fluke Man, called the experience absolute hell, as it took him over 6 hours to put on the costume. The heavy Fluke Man suit caused sensory deprivation to Morgan at times, and he had difficulty going to the bathroom, as he had to spend most of the time he was in the costume underwater. The suit would damage quickly, and Lindola had to start building another one. The entire costume smelled like sulfur, and as the suit had only one hole to breathe through, Morgan could not eat. Despite these challenges, the Fluke Man was a favorite amongst the crew, who began to refer to him as Fluky. Location manager Todd Pitson, grotesquely lovable. Carter later remarked that Fluky was popular even among the fans, as he was seen as an embodiment of vulnerability. Marvelous verdict. Popular or not, Fluky sure gave a whole lot of us an uneasy fear of the sewers. We hope this video about his anatomy helped you get closer to the monster, or at least helped you understand him a little better. Do you agree with the classification we have placed the Fluke Man in? Let us know in the comments why or why not. We would love to hear what you think about the Fluke Man as well. Adorable, fluky, or grotesque monster? The comment section is wide open, so head on down. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up to encourage us. We will soon be back with yet another amazing and informative video. But until then, take care and see you soon.